All right, let's see what we got going on. I hope the camera's on this time. Hello, and welcome to the inaugural episode of I've Got an Answer For You with Spenny Pugliano, the show where people call in and I give them advice. You know, they can just call in and talk to. It's like whatever. I am Spenny Pugliano. If we have not met before, it is nice to meet you. If we have met before, it's nice to see you again. I am live at the home of my friend Alon Elion. Alon Elion is currently not home because he is volunteering at a soup kitchen for blind dogs called Life's Rough. And they will be our sponsor for today. Or actually, they did not give us any money or anything like that. I just wanted to highlight the organization. So maybe in a way, I'm sponsoring them. I'll be honest with you, I don't really know how this stuff works. But it's Life's Rough, and their slogan is, after all, these dogs are sightless. Should they really be soupless? Which I thought was cute, and then I made up one for them, which was, after all, these dogs are blind. Let's let them have some soup. So that's Life's Rough, and if you would like to donate, please contact Alon Elion through the appropriate channels. Now, a lot of you may be asking, Spenny, why are you doing this? What's going on, and also, why do you think you're qualified to have some sort of talk show where you give people advice? You're not a psychologist or anything like that. It's true, I'm not. And, in a lot of ways, things are not going like so perfectly for you. That you should be able to hand out advice to people and stuff like that, which is true. As some of you may know, I technically do not currently have a place to live, as my wife and I got divorced after I lost a lot of our money, almost all of it, trying to open a vaporizer store with my son Brian on Jericho Turnpike. And she is currently living now in, with my children in our home, along with Juliana Leibowitz, who is my best friend, I should say, ex-best friend, and that's a whole. It's a whole can of worms. So we don't have to get into that right now. But I think I'm qualified because, listen, here's how I see it. A lot of talk shows, a lot of talk radio. It's like, I don't really think of it as talk radio. I think of it as like advice radio, because it's one guy, usually a guy, and he's like, you need to do this, you need to do that, and he's saying all sorts of stuff, like I know better than you. To me, this is a talk show. What does that mean? It means I talk to you, you talk to me. It's a two-way street, right? I help you, you help me. We're just talking together. Maybe we will get somewhere, maybe we will not, but, either way, I don't really have that much going on right now. So I figured, why not? Anyway, the topic of today's discussion is fear, being afraid. And I'm here to take your calls. So anytime someone, I'll wait here for a little while. And now for our first ever caller, Casey from Queens. Casey, how are you? How can I help you?
Thanks, Spenny. I'm doing all right. So basically, I've been living in my current apartment for the last couple of years, and my lease is up in 2 months. Now, at this apartment, I've been living with two strangers that I met on Craigslist. And we get along pretty well, but sometimes we can, butt heads. The other thing is I love this apartment. It's spacious, it's quiet, it's a great place. So if I get a new place with new strangers, what if I end up clashing with them even more? Than my current roommates. I don't know. I've just lived in a lot of crappy places, and I feel like if I give up on this place, I'd be letting something go that's really great. I don't know what to do.
New York City real estate. Am I right, Casey? That's something I heard somebody say once. I mean, listen, I understand your predicament, but you're clearly scared. I think, Casey, in a way, you're living in the past. It's hard to let go of a place you love. A life that you love. It's hard. But I think that you also might be maybe keeping yourself from making new memories in a new place, and you can't live in fear. My mother used to say, "The devil you know is better than the devil you don't," meaning like the new roommates, or the roommates you have now, the devil you know all the good stuff and the bad stuff. The new roommates uh-oh, what if they're even worse? Just like you said. I like to say the friend you don't know might be a better friend than the friend that you have now. And then all of a sudden, you got two friends, a good friend and a great friend who you like even better than the first friend. But you don't say anything because you want to be polite. You can't live in fear, Casey. We can't live in fear. I spent so much of my life living in fear. When Angeline left me, I was so scared. I was saying like, "Oh, what if I can't find work? What if I become homeless? What if I won't be able to see the kids anymore?" That kind of stuff. Uh, and then, of course, as it turned out, all of that stuff actually ended up happening, and it was very hard for me, and it was very hard to let go. But worrying about it didn't really do anything for me because it happened anyway. And meanwhile, as far as roommates go, listen, I've lived with as little as zero roommates and as much as like 30 or 40 guys in one room. When it comes to roommates, maybe the roommate you get on your nerves or whatever, it happens. But the most important thing I think for you to remember is if you have anything valuable, you need to get something, get like I'd say a satchel or a fanny pack or something like that, something waterproof so you could shower with it and also sleep. You'll get used to sleeping with it and keep it on yourself at all times because unfortunately, people are not always trustworthy. I'm still looking for my father's amulet, and I gotta find it before the end of the year if I wanna break the curse. So that is my advice to you. And now for one of my favorite segments, Oh How the Tables Have Turned, where I'm going to now ask you for some advice. I should mention that after this episode, this segment will be called Oh How the Tables Have Turned Once More. So this is my question of the day. If you were going to kiss someone, do you ask before you kiss them? Is body language enough to determine whether or not they want you to kiss them? What if you have been talking about how you want to kiss them in a respectful way for over 10 minutes? What if you used to be married?
Uh, yeah, I think that was a lot of questions. I think in the moment you feel it in the moment. So I think maybe you shouldn't overthink it until you're actually in the moment, and then you'll know when it happens. That's the best
Wow.
advice I
I
can
guess
give.
that makes sense. I gotta
Uh,
tell you, she got so upset with me. She was yelling at me in the middle of the supermarket. Uh, I thought I got a good read on things, but so that was about 18 months ago, and I do think that was the last time that I saw her. And Angeline, if you happen to be listening, I do apologize for that, but you also remember, not only how much I love you, but how much I love to kiss. So thank you so much, Casey, for that advice. I think that sounds good, and I will definitely take that to heart. Thank you so much for calling, and I love you. Okay, goodbye. So I think we touched on a lot today, but I just wanted to leave you with this thought. What is fear? To me, fear is being worried about the future, right? You say to yourself, uh-oh, what if I have a bad time? And you might. But I think what we do, when we do that, is we not only are maybe going to have a bad time in the future, but we're having a bad time right now, right? We're ruining our right now. That's two bad times. Hello? That's a lot of time. So I say, maybe just have a good time right now, and that way, later on, if you have a bad time, well, then you could say to yourself, okay, well, at least I had a good time before. You know? Overall, it's less bad time. So that's our show. I want to thank you so much for joining us for this first episode. I hope that you will join us again. Until then, I am Spenny Pugliano, and I wish you all the best. All right, now let's figure out how to turn this thing off. Oh my